Hello.
How are
Welcome
you?
to the Paradigm Spark Insight Talk.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Fleming. I own Apex Coffee Imports. We started working on the project 2015, and then we launched in 2016. So the goal was to try and bring new and interesting coffees that weren't available to Canadian roasters. Us as Apex, we're focused mostly on selling to roasters more exclusively. So the goal is not to be well known in the consumer world, but we want to try and help and support roasters that are front-facing with retail businesses to produce the best quality coffee in the most transparent, ethical way that they can. We're here to support them in that. I always wanted to know how certain companies got access to certain coffees that I really love to drink as a consumer. After many years of kind of wanting to do something like that, so I just jumped in and just decided to do it.
Yeah. We posted Instagram questions, and we got the question that what is your most memorable green purchase?
The most memorable thing, every green purchase is memorable because of getting specialty coffee of a certain quality. It's not accidental, it's intentional, but to be able to get it to this country and the journey that it takes it's kind of magical to me still. So every one of them is special.
Yeah. Any countries you personally prefer?
Because we are currently in 4 countries, so Colombia, Ethiopia, Kenya, Costa Rica. So when we first started, we were pretty much exclusively doing Colombian coffees for the first year. So I would travel back and forth every 2 to 3 months. So Colombia is always close to my heart because it's where we started. And I was traveling there since 2012 with my old job.
Yeah.
So it's always close to my heart in that respect. It just depends on what area of it, but I still think Colombia is probably, because it's my first country, that's my most memorable.
It's going to be very difficult to build a relationship with the people in the supply chain because, first of all, green importer yourself lives in Canada, and those people in the origin country is in their own country. It's a physically long distance. How's the relationship is mean to you, and how you build relationship with those people in the origin countries?
Yeah, a lot of it is relationships for sure. It's never been easier to buy coffee, but to get stuff that we can actually have a meaningful impact, with coffee farmers, it takes time. It takes the right amount of people. So when I was first starting out, you almost interview companies to work with, just get a feel for what their values are. You kind of have to go through a little bit of a job interview process to find the right types of people. And then I can make a decision, okay, this is the group that I want to work with. And then, it's the same as me, right? You'll want to be judged on your last sale. So if you're supporting a customer and all of a sudden you start doing a bad job, you should expect that customer to look elsewhere. It's the same for me, right? So we're always evaluating the partners that we're working with, and we want to maintain a certain standard. And if that starts to fall, we have to have a conversation. But luckily, we haven't had to do that yet.
Yeah. Who is your longest relationship in purchase?
Probably the one that we've consistently been with since the very beginning. I still remember tasting his coffee the very first trip. It was December 2015. Was Roberto Rojas in Colombia.
Yeah.
So he's a farmer from Acevedo, Mula. So I tasted his coffee. It was mind-blowing how good it was. So then you meet him and you realize he's got a large farm and he's producing quite a bit of coffee. And so we've been buying his coffee every harvest since the first year of Apex. So he'd be our longest relationship. And it just keeps growing. He does a fantastic job. Love to visit his farm, and customers always look forward to his coffees when they arrive, so that's always super meaningful.
So you have a wide range of coffee producers, like family size producers to bigger size coffee producers.
Yeah.
I really expect same core value from those people.
Yeah,
different license.
Yeah, we're working with some families and they're producing 3 bags. I bought coffees that have been 1 bag lots before.
Yeah.
And then we work with large estates, what I would call estates, that are producing multiple containers of coffee. It's all about values and what you're doing. So what's their, they have the same values with the environment, making an impact with farmers, making sure that people are fairly paid throughout. Those are all factors in it, for sure.
Yeah. I think it's kind of similar, the relationship as a roaster.
That's the same with any, with people that you meet. You are what you are, right? So, you can tell people who are authentic and care. For me, it's like I want a more holistic approach, more all-encompassing. I want an authentic experience. When we meet people, we want to have the same values. I want them to be about the coffee because that's what we're about.
Yeah.
We're not about the fame, the recognition, and all that sort of stuff. We want the best coffees we can get.
Yeah.
And that's what we value most. And also done in a fair and transparent way.
The green purchase is definitely a huge portion that I never experienced. So like it was kind of really, I was looking for when I was planning to launch Davian Coffee, the coffee roasting company, a few years ago, like 2.5 years ago, and I was contacting like a few different green importers, and then it was pretty hard to find the right fit. So it was quite lucky that I find Mayhex in Calgary.
Well, it's the same. When we get a lot of phone calls from different roasters around the country. They're not all great fits for what we do. So we try not to, we don't ever want to overpromise and underdeliver. So I don't want to meet a roaster and tell them everything they want to hear to get a sale, and then that's the only sale we get. We don't want to leak customers as fast as we get them in. Right? We want to have a high retention rate. The only way to do that is to be honest. So what are we and what are we not? And then, it's like an interplay with the client too, right? So there's always, you just have to understand it, and you have to listen to people too. A lot of people, because I'm doing a sales job, right? We're in sales. The number one thing in sales is to shut up and listen to people. And then you can understand what they're actually asking you for, and then that's how you build a long-term repeat business. To me, it's a lot of work to meet someone and start selling them coffee, but then you don't want to just have them disappointed after the first sale. That's important to me.